Hello everybody, welcome to NityaCloudtech. In this video, we are going to learn dynamically load multiple staging table from different files in single pipeline. So example is, let's say if as a part of data warehousing, we have multiple files and let's say we have to load all the files into different staging table. So let's say we have multiple files, let's say file 1, file 2, file 3. Now we have to load all these files into staging environment on different tables. Let's say table tbl1, tbl2 and tbl3. So how to achieve this in Azure Data Factory? We will do practical on this. So in our case, let's say scenario is we have this input file, and under input files we have two files, department.csv and employee.csv. Now I have to load these both files into the staging environment, into the table, into the database. So let me open the pipeline. Okay, so let's create pipeline for the same. Stage pipeline, I can call this. Okay, let's create data set. So data set is our data set is Azure Blob Storage, and which is pointing to delimited text. I can call this to input files or call this source files CSV. Can give similar name, source files CSV. Okay. Now you can select the Azure account and then storage account in first storage, and now it should create. Yeah. I need to point the file path ETL, and as mentioned earlier, we have to point the input files. Under input file, we have these two files, department and employee. Input file. Okay. So I have configured this part. Okay. Okay. Now let's move into the pipeline, stage pipeline, and let me choose the activity called get metadata. Okay. So we can call to load files, load multiple files. Okay, so in dataset we'll select this data set which we have created. We have created source file CSV. Okay, so in get metadata there are different properties under the field list, so we have to click new here and select the property. So in our case, property is child items. So child items means it will basically it will fetch all the CSV file which is coming under input files. Let's move into this. Okay, now I'll show you to debug this. In our first step, so it will store the both files. So it is published successfully, and now I need to debug this. So see, it is loading. It is in process. Yes, it is succeeding. So if you see, it it is containing both file DEPT and employee. If you see, this is basically the JSON format child items. Basically, child items containing these two files. So in our flow, we will use this child items. So now we have to execute this one by one. So for that, we will use for each, and we will select this. Okay, click on for each to for each activity and go to setting. And this is sequential or parallel. So I want to load parallelly. So that's fine. Now items, I need to select items. So go here at dynamic, and I need to select get metadata activity. So see, activity dot files output dot child items as mentioned. Now it will fetch all the values here. Okay. Now next part, we have to do some configuration in database as well. So let's move into database. So we need to, I have already table script ready. So basically we have two files, we employee and department. So for that we have to create table. So let's create employee table first. Employee table is created, and then department. So here you need to take care of one part. Whatever your table and column name, it should be match with your exact file name. Column name also should match. Okay. So here you can see the data, and if I run this, so there is no data for these two tables. Okay, if you see, there is no data. Okay, we also need to create one master table to load all the manual entry, to load manual entry of all the table, so that we will use this as a part of our flow. So this is our master table dynamic. So it is containing source file name. What is the source file name? Staging schema name and staging table. So I'm creating this table, and also creating, since we have these two values for this pipeline, employee.csv and department. Okay. Okay, now it is done. Okay, so if you show this, these are the values which we have just inserted. Now as a part of dynamic, we have to create SQL, we have to create the store procedure and pass the source file name parameter, so that whatever file will process, it will basically fetch the file name using this source file name, and then it will execute one by one. So let me create this store procedure. Okay, So stored position name is get all table low. Okay, so let me again move into Azure Data Factory. We are good so far. Now I need to click here, and here I will use under for each activity lookup. Okay, so if you remember, I have created one stored procedure, so I will use that stored procedure here. New, click on new, and Azure SQL database. You can call this as SQL SQL demo. You can give any name. So now let me connect to the database. Subscription is free trial, server name demo 451, and then database name is DemoDB. Username is admin. Okay, so I'm testing connection. Yeah, it's successful. So I have connected to the database and we have created SP. So I will choose here store procedure and load. This is the SP which we have created. Now if you see this import parameter, we have declared one parameter. So during the runtime, file name will pass accordingly. It will return the staging name and table name. So I'll click here import parameter. So see here source file name. So our source file name is which is coming from the lookup part. So what happened? Let me call import parameter again. Yeah, we have to select new file name. What's happening? Why it is not coming? Yeah, I think I need to select this. Yeah, now add dynamic parameter. So item dot name. So why I have written name here? If you remember, there is one a property called child item, and under child items there are two files, and there are two basically name and type. So we have to use name here because we want to fetch the name one by one of the file. Finish. Oh, it seems there is some mistake. What happened? I think I need to create the SP. I'm not sure I have created. Let me run this table. Yes, I have already created SP, and the SP name is here. All set. It is giving issue then. Get all file under SQL demo. We have everything set here. We just need to import parameter here, and then yes, item. Okay, finish. Okay, this is done. Now I need to debug this so far. So if you see in the load files, it is returning child items, and I mention name and type, and beneath name of the file one by one. That's why we have selected item dot name. So it will fetch one by one, first for DEPT and then EMP. And if you see, this is succeed so far. So under for each, it has written item count 2, since there are two files. And after that, in the lookup, dbo.emp and dept execute two times. Okay, now go. So now I have this files, I have called the store procedure as well. Now I need to load this into the destination table. For this we will use copy activity, copy data, and I will select this to under copy data. We have source and sync. So source have to call the input path. So I will again create global storage csv input source and new. Let's create first storage, and then all set. Yeah, create container. I can select ETL and input files. Done. Okay. Okay. File name will pass file name on dynamic basis. We'll create parameter for file name. Okay, and then use this file name here. So here here we are passing dynamic only, whatever comes from the lookup activity again. So item dot name. So here in source we'll get the file one by one. Let's say for employee first and department. Now I need to configure sync. So here, as a part of sync, we have to load the data into destination table into database. So again need to create new connection, Azure SQL database, load dynamic table, and call this new server name demo 451, database name demo db, username admin 451, password. Okay, now it is configuring. I need both schema name and table name. We'll pass this on runtime. Okay, go to here. I'll create two parameters for table name and schema name. Table name, schema name. Okay, okay, and use here. First use schema name, and then I will use table name. Okay. Now it will pass into runtime. Let's move into staging pipeline. If you see this table name, schema name, parameter is created, we have to pass the value of this parameter runtime. The value is whatever returned from the lookup activity, and then dot first row, and I will tell you later on this part, this first row function, and dot we need this staging schema name and staging. So first one is staging table name. Okay, this is configuration part of table name. Similarly, we have to configure schema name. So again, schema name. Okay, all set. We have configured both. Okay, schema name and table name. So in source, we have called this. Let me do one thing for this to select this property first row as header. Okay, move into pipeline. Okay, so using this, so in source we'll get file one by one here, and then we will load into the table. If you see here, both table will be blank at this moment. Okay, now let me publish first this and fix it data set in location in the file name is careful. Let me see what is the copy item dot name. Send the copy item dot name. Let's open this. Yeah, we have declared one parameter and we have to call this parameter here. That's not a, so we can call this file name. Then finish. Yes, it should publish now. So it may take 1 minute, maybe. That is published successfully. Now again back to pipeline and let me debug this. So I'll show you step by step what happened, what's happening in this. First, get metadata activity is using basically it will fetch all the files from the input folder. It is executing. See all succeed. So in load file, what happened? It has it is containing child items. So we have, and under for each loop there are two files, that's why it is showing two, and then lookup return the file name. So I told you about the first row. So if you see first row, basically it is returning this lookup returning first row and staging schema name, staging table name. We have used this function while loading the table. So if you remember here, so that's why we have used two functions. this function first row dot staging table name and first row dot staging schema name. Okay. Yeah, so now if you run the pipeline, you'll get the data in the table, in the database table. It is running. Let me open the table. Yeah, see, data is available in the employee as well as department. See, thanks guys.